Bonku Babu. No one had ever seen Bonku Babu get angry. He was a teacher at the Kankurgachi primary school. Every year, a new batch of students came to be taught, but old or new. The tradition of teasing poor Bonku Babu continued among the students. Bonku Babu did not get upset by any of this. Only sometimes he would clear his throat and say, "Shame on you, children!" Bonku Babu also went to the lawyer Shripati Mujumdar's house on weekends. The lawyer was an important man and liked to collect as many people around him as possible. It made him feel very important. However, even here, nearly everybody poked fun at Bonku Babu. Sometimes his umbrella or his shoes would be hidden, or he would be forced to sing. On one particular day, the topic of conversation was satellites. After a few minutes of such conversation, Chandi Babu declared, "You can say what you like, but I don't think we should waste our time worrying about satellites." "All right," said Nidhu Babu. "Of course, it is a human achievement to build a satellite. But let's talk of something else. What about a rocket? That is more important, isn't it?" Chandi Babu wrinkled his nose. "What good is a rocket? Of course, if one was made here and was to take off from the Maidan nearby, then we could all go and buy tickets to watch the show. Well, then that would be nice, but—" "You're right," Ram Kanai agreed. "Rockets have no meaning for us here." Bhairav Chakravarti spoke up. "Suppose some creature from a different planet arrived on Earth." The others all dismissed this idea. "No one would come here, and even if they did, you and I would never be able to see it." Everyone quietly sipped their tea for a few minutes. Suddenly, Bonku Babu cleared his throat and said gently, Suppose they came here?" Nidhu Babu, Chandi Babu and the others all pretended to be amazed. "Hey, Bunkam, said something." "What did you say, Bunkam? What's coming and from where?" Bonku Babu repeated his words, his tone still gentle. "Suppose someone from a different planet came here." At this, Bhairav Chakravarti laughed loudly and said, "What a thing to say! Why would a creature from another planet land here? Why not in Moscow or London or even Calcutta?" "Maybe aliens would come to a place like this to take away a specimen like Bonku Babu," suggested Chandi Babu. Nidhu Babu added, "Indeed, Bunkam is an ideal specimen to keep in the museum or the zoo." Bonku Babu did not reply, but stood up at once. "It's getting late, and I have some work at home. Namaskar." Though the others tried to stop him, he insisted on leaving at once. He would not stay to be laughed at any more that night. Bonku Babu saw the strange light when he was about halfway through the bamboo grove, which was a little used shortcut to his house, though he could not immediately put his finger on it. He was aware that something was unusual about that night. Suddenly he realized that he could not hear any of the sounds he normally heard at night. The sound of crickets and other insects buzzing around. Puzzled, he walked on, only to see that in a clearing near the pond, there was glowing pink light shining on every leaf and branch. As he moved forward, an object like a giant glass bowl turned upside down, came into view. What could it be? The strange object seemed to cover the pond completely. Not even in a dream had Bonku Babu seen such a strange sight. There was also a steady humming sound all around. As he stood and stared, he noticed that the glass mound seemed to be rising and falling, exactly as one's chest moves while breathing. He stepped forward to get a better look, but suddenly felt as if an electric current passed through his body. His hands and feet seemed to be tied with an invisible rope, so that he could move neither forward nor backward. Bonku Babu, standing stiffly on the same spot, suddenly noticed that the object gradually stopped breathing. The humming sound also stopped. A second later, a voice spoke, shattering the silence. It sounded human, but was extraordinarily thin. "Millipee, ping, crook! Millipee, ping, crook!" it said loudly. Babu almost jumped. What did it mean? What language was this? And where was the speaker? The next words the voice spoke made his heart jump again. "Who are you? Who are you?" These were English words. Was the question addressed to him? Bonku Babu swallowed. "I am Bonku Bihari Datta, sir. Bonku Bihari Datta," he replied. "Are you English? Are you English?" The voice went on. "No, sir," Bonku shouted back. "Bengali, sir." There was a short pause. Then the voice was speaking again. "Namaskar." Bonku Babu heaved a sigh of relief and returned the greeting. "Namaskar," he said, suddenly realizing that the invisible bonds that had been holding him tightly had disappeared. He was free to run away, but he did not. He now saw a portion of the glass mound was sliding to one side, opening out like a door. Through the door emerged a head, like a plain, smooth ball, and then the body of a weird creature. Its arms and legs were amazingly thin. With the exception of its head, its whole body was covered by a shiny pink outfit. Instead of ears, it had a tiny hole on each side of its head. There were two holes where there should have been a nose, and another gaping hole where the mouth should be. There was no sign of hair anywhere. Its eyes were round and bright yellow and appeared to be glowing in the dark. Having stared at Bonku Babu for nearly a minute, the creature spoke again. "Are you human? Is this earth?" "Yes," replied Bonku Babu. "Ah, I thought as much. My instruments are not working properly. I was supposed to go to Pluto. That is why I first spoke to you in the language they use on Pluto. When you didn't reply, I realized I had landed on the wrong planet." Bonku Babu did not know what to say, as he was feeling quite uncomfortable. The creature had started to press his arms and legs with its long, slim fingers. When it finished this examination, it introduced itself. "I am Ang, from the planet Cranus, a far superior being than man. I know 14,000 languages. There is not a single language in your entire solar system that I do not know. I also know 31 languages spoken on planets outside your system. I have been to 25 of them. Bonku Babu scratched his head and swallowed hard. Take a look at this. Ang offered him a small object, which looked like a pebble. Bonku Babu touched it for an instant and felt the same electric current pass through his body. He withdrew his hand at once. Ang smiled. A little while ago, you could not move. Do you know why? It was only because I had this little thing in my hand. It would stop anyone from getting closer. It makes any enemy perfectly powerless without hurting them. Bonku Babu was taken aback. He ran his tongue over his parched lips. Ang spoke again. I have been watching you. I have examined your arms and legs. There is no doubt that you belong to a much inferior species. However, as far as humans are concerned, you are not too bad. I mean, you are a good man, but you have a major fault. You are too meek and mild. You must always speak up against injustice and protest if anyone hurts or insults you. Anyway, it was nice to have met you, although I really wasn't supposed to be here at this time. There's no point in wasting more time on your earth. I had better go.
Goodbye, Mr. Ang. I am very happy to have...
Bonku Babu could not complete his sentence. In less than a second, almost before he could grasp what was happening, Ang had leapt into his spaceship and risen over Boncha Ghosh's bamboo grove. Then he vanished completely. Bonku Babu realized that the crickets had started chirping again. It was really quite late. He resumed walking towards his house. The next day was a Sunday. Everyone had turned up for their usual meeting at Shripati Babu's house. Tonight, Boncha Ghosh was also present at the meeting. He was talking about his bamboo grove, where all the bamboos around the pond had shed all their leaves. Everyone was talking about it, when suddenly Bonku Babu entered the room. No, to say entered would be wrong. It was as if a small hurricane swept in. Bonku Babu then burst into a guffaw and laughed loudly for a whole minute, as no one had ever heard him laugh before. When he finally stopped laughing, he cleared his throat and began speaking.
Friends, I have great pleasure in telling you that this is the last time you will see me at your meeting. The only reason I came today is to tell you all a few things before I go. First of all, this is for all of you. You speak a great deal of rubbish. Only fools talk of things they don't know anything about. Second, this is for Chandi Babu. At your age, hiding other people's shoes and umbrellas is not just childish, but totally wrong. Kindly bring my umbrella and brown canvas shoes to my house tomorrow. Nidhu Babu, if you call me bunkum, I will call you nitwit. And you must learn to live with that. And Shripati Babu, you are an important man and must have hangers on, but please count me out from today. Poncha Babu, you are here as well. Let me inform you that last night an Ang arrived from the planet Cranus and landed on the pond in your bamboo grove. We had a long chat. The Ang was most amiable. Bonku Babu finished his speech and slapped Bhairav Chakravarti's back so hard that he choked. Then he made his exit, walking swiftly, his head held high,